let's start with the PSA, which you brought up. So the way prostate cancer is diagnosed in America is really a fallacy. It's based on three techniques right now. Number one, the PSA, which you call prostatic specific antigen. I call it the prostatic specific anxiety, because if the PSA is over 4 in America, no matter what your age is, they're going to probably stick you. They're going to refer you to a urologist who's going to do, which is still accepted practice, a blind or a random biopsy. First of all, the PSA, when it's elevated, has an 80% chance of being normal. In other words, you do not have cancer 80% of the time. So that's better.
Just stop right there for just a second, Joe,
That's
because
better than Vegas, baby.
that's
Better
just
than Vegas.
that is just absolutely astonishing that bad an indicator would be acted upon with a surgical procedure.
Correct. You're exactly right. It's not allowed in Europe anymore. The guidelines in Europe have changed. You have to image the prostate before you can stick the prostate.
And
It's like, imagine taking a woman's breast and putting 12 or 14 needles in it and say, hey, we didn't get it this year. Come back next year, we'll do it again.
right.
I mean, the prostate is the only organ in the body where we do a blind biopsy. In other words, it's a random biopsy that only covers 1% of the gland. And
that's
has a 40% error rate. So you're
How did? All right, let's go back. I think we've established a fairly good negative case for PSA. So when did this PSA testing begin to become de rigueur for the?
I guess it was started really in the 80s. Whenever, there's been an argument about it. Even the gentleman that discovered PSA wrote a book on it, saying, it's not a cancer marker. It just isn't. I mean, good sex can raise it.
Right.
Riding a motorcycle can do it. A horse can do it.
Right.
Like I told you, if you're working out in the gym and you're bouncing up and down doing presses, go get a PSA and they'll elevate on you.
Well, the interesting thing about that is that none of the practitioners, when this first started off back in the 80s, actually knew the answer to any of those questions. I remember clearly going to a urologist, probably about 1990. I went to 88, somewhere in there. Went to the urologist and had the, baseline digital rectal exam, all this other shit. And he took some blood, and I, came back with a wanted to do blood and do a PSA. You want to take blood for the purpose of a PSA assay. And I said to him, I remember this very clearly. I tell you the guy's name. He's probably not even in practice anymore. But I remember asking him, what is PSA? And he said, well, he patiently explained that it was prostate-specific antigen. And I said, what is prostate-specific antigen? And he said, it is a marker for prostate cancer. And I said, you don't understand the nature of my question. I want to know what is the substance prostate-specific antigen. And he said, I just told you, it is a marker for prostate cancer. Prostate cancer cells secrete this. And I remember asking him, why would prostate cancer be so kind as to tell us it's there?
And, I never heard it that way.
And he said, well, that's just what it is. It's prostate specific. I mean, the name tells you what it is. But I never did get the answer to the question, which is phrased a better way now. I would have asked him, no, you don't understand. I want to know, is prostate specific antigen a protein? Is it an enzyme? Is it Is it a lipoprotein? What is it chemically? What is it? What secretes it? What does it do? And he would not have known what I was talking about. And it's fascinating to me that this stuff has become the source of all of this investigation when what prostate-specific antigen is, what that protein is in fact a substance that increases sperm motility. And it is secreted upon ejaculation by the prostate gland, so that the prostate ejaculates the sperm and it puts some PSA into the whatever the name of the protein is. It'll have a big long name, and it puts it in with the ejaculate, and it increases sperm motility, and that's what it does.
And why is that? Because the vagina is hostile.
Yes, and it needs the help. It needs the help.
And it will kill the sperm. So you need that to keep the sperm alive. The prostate creates a transport medium to keep the sperm alive.
And that's why it's there. But that's why it's also present if, like for example, how many times have you gone to the urologist's office and had the digital rectal exam before they took blood for the PSA test? Well,
right.
If you perturb the prostate, as Joe said, you perturb the prostate with bench pressing or with sex or with riding a horse or a motorcycle or anything else that puts pressure on the crotch, then you are going to cause the secretion and emission of this protein that we call prostate-specific antigen.